Hey guys, Kevin Gage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you're serious about the digital asset space, and let's get right into it today. One take and uncut. So I'm going to be going over some older information along with recent information, tying it all together with the few absolute behemoths that many newcomers are not aware of that are backing the XRP ecosystem to some degree. And I really want to show the connections here. The money is there, and it is simply a matter of utilizing that. Building liquidity over time, yes, but when you plug in something and actually ramp it up, the basic, organization, the volume of that organization itself provides the necessary liquidity. So that's what I want to emphasize. Now, before getting into that, kind of want to do a short little rant just to address a few things as we see that XRP, as of recording this video, just got to 22 cents. That's awesome. That's great. I personally do not care about the price short term. I understand what is coming, but if you guys, are trading, that's awesome. I hold a bag for life, and then I do have smaller bags that I trade between various crypto assets, and I hold many assets besides just XRP, but XRP is my biggest holding in my portfolio. None of this is financial advice. This whole video is my opinion and entertainment only. All right, so essentially, guys, we know that the pattern in the fractal I showed you of, awake sharing that yesterday. What I want to emphasize is this, following, technical analysis, all these technical analysts, I get it, and the fractal part of this pattern that seems to repeat, they kind of see the value and they limit the potential of XRP. Now, they say, value should hit when it surpasses this to $1, $13, $26, etc. Now, not everyone says this, but a lot of people, at least technical analysts, never see a 3-digit or even like a really low 4-digit XRP. And, that's fine if you want to take profit or, sell at $26 or $10 or even $1. It doesn't matter. That's great. I'm all for taking profit, de-risking, rebalancing your portfolio. I have plenty. I'm a happy man at even a 50-cent XRP. It doesn't matter. I promise you. When I say, 3 to 4 digit XRP, that's not me out of desperation needing wealth. Guys, I know individuals that hold millions of XRP, and it doesn't matter. I'm truly looking at the technology, solving a real problem for real customers. I still believe a high price is necessary, and I know many other people do, based off of the math and the actual sheer payment size and volume in the correspondent banking network. This is not based off of charts. If this is truly a revolutionary, disruptive technology, be ready for potential surprises. Now, is that guaranteed? Absolutely not. So please do not invest upon that. I just wanted to share that, yes, I do believe in the potential of a 3 to low 4-digit XRP. Okay, whether that's the very end of the year or, 5 to 10 years down the road. I'm just sharing my beliefs. Now, again, guys, I'm holding a majority of my holdings for life. That's just my personal choice. Some people might want to just, get out altogether. That's fine. But if we're going to the Internet of Value and these new systems, I personally don't really want to go back into the US dollar for the bulk of my holdings. I want to continue to diversify. And I just don't think people really get it if they're looking to leave the digital asset space entirely, if this is going to be either the fuel for the network or potentially just the bridge asset or one of the bridge assets of choice to transfer all value in the world as we are becoming, as everything's becoming tokenized. All right. So again, I'm, personally, I'm not trying to make more money than person A or B. I'm just trying to get the highest ROI as possible for myself. If I win or lose, that's on me. I'm not going to blame anybody. I know people laugh at, the dot connecting and, maybe they prefer their charts. That's because they haven't done several years of research to do the same thing. And I don't blame them. I was there at that point as well. Everyone has their opinion. It's your job as an investor to weed through all the BS, decide what is best for you. That's all. And yes, I do my own technical analysis. I'm not comfortable sharing it on the channel whatsoever. So sometimes I just prefer to, share some others that I kind of like or like to entertain and want to share with you guys. And I know a lot of people give a lot of flack to Mr. Level Up, but again, honest individual, not trying to do anything, just simply trying to find exactly where we are in this manipulated pattern. And the funny thing is, you'll actually see through his work that a lot of these global markets are actually tied together. When you see crypto move, you can actually watch exactly how the precious metals market moves, and then you can see connections and patterns in the same existing fractals that even exist in the Dow Jones in the past. So just wanted to share that, guys. So I encourage you all, just believe what you wish and think for yourselves, and I'll do the same. All right, now, whether it's, a $1 XRP, then $10, $100 XRP, doesn't matter, guys. Setting a price limit, a limitation, is a type of price prediction. So keep that in mind. All right, enough of that ranting. So let's get into this information, guys. We know that Congress has now introduced 32 crypto and blockchain bills. I know Forbes released an article the other day. Now let's talk about ACI Worldwide. All right, so ACI Worldwide, guys, as we can see, ACI Universal Payments, or UP, we can see any payment, every possibility, guys. They're an absolute behemoth. As we can see here, in payments and securities daily, $14 trillion. They have more than 6,000 organizations for them around the world. And they, look, largest financial institutions and intermediaries, they have over 1,000 of them. So yes, this is an absolute behemoth. And notice that some of their solutions actually sound exactly like on-demand liquidity, which uses XRP. And that is by Ripple, utilizing RippleNet, their type of network. Keep in mind that's a permission network, but they do go onto the XRP ledger, which is a permissionless ledger. Now, what can happen, and what many people believe, is that ACI Worldwide in particular can actually be utilizing an XRP to some degree and white label the technology itself. Now, many people, you can see that they have instant messaging. They can confirm the conversion rates of FX rates before sending. They have great bidirectional messaging as well, competing with Swift. And it's not necessarily just to take over the correspondent banking system or replace them, but it can actually be for just many businesses that want better information and settlement within seconds. Now, I don't know many ways to settle payments within seconds on the core ledger of a central bank without doing it to some degree utilizing digital assets and distributed ledger technology. For example, as we kind of scroll down here, we can see future of payments, of course. No surprise, talking about the payments industry. Again, Internet of Things, we know the stats. We see blockchain and then open APIs as they work their way into the mainstream. And I agree, this is becoming mainstream. Right? This is simply the future. Now, what I want to go through is this. This is all sent to me by Damor, DAM00R. So thank you for sending these DMs back in 2019 as well, and always sharing this information. I know a lot of people end up sharing it later on. And I just wanted to give you due credit. If anyone else has shared this, thank you. But I just kind of want to show you what dots he's connected with ACI Worldwide alone. And then we're going to connect some other groups as well. So be sure to stay tuned. So again, ACI On Demand for wholesale payments and financial messaging. Notice on-demand liquidity, all these groups, again, they're aiming to tackle interbank settlements. And of course, there's financial messaging included with, X currents. All right, so let's speed through this. As we can see that financial institutions today, banks, again, importance of expecting fast, accurate, and continuous movement of funds between accounts across the world. Not only do they expect settlement within seconds of execution, now how can they really settle on the core ledger of a central bank without utilizing DLT, again, with the consensus basis of being secure, distributed, disintermediation creates, trust, and especially with the concept of smart contracts and conditional payments, and even locking payments in escrow with atomic swap technology, and then making it an all or nothing approach. So there's not going to be some funds are lost here and some didn't go through. It's all or nothing, guys. This is simply the future. Again, demand simultaneously information, reporting of these transactions. Again, all in a ledger. So DLT has to be involved to some degree in the future. And again, as we know, 63% of banks in the world globally are utilizing DLT. And remember, DLT, blockchain is a subset of DLT, and to send value, you need a digital asset. And we know that record high levels of banks are experimenting with central bank digital currencies. All right, we can see ACI removes the burden of managing hardware. Again, it's all software. We talk about rolling it out. We're going to talk about CGI as well with this. Kind of speed through this. Again, synchronized payments. It's essentially, guys, it really makes you wonder if this is just some white labeled version of XRP. Okay. And keep in mind, ACI Worldwide is a partner. They've worked with RippleNet in the past. So real time, we can go through the processing. Feel free to look through this, guys. All right. Now we're going to keep going. Right here, on demand, just their service, even back in 2008. So they've been around with that name. And then what I wanted to emphasize was, okay, we'll go to CGI next. So pay attention to this. All right, so right here, Damor again, CGI Document, known Ripple customer. CGI delivered real-time payments capability in the partnership with the clearinghouse. Connectors have to get connected to each other for the interoperability. Now, this could have already been posted, but again, take a look at this. So we have this 16-page document, Achieve the Need for Speed, CGI. And essentially, guys, how I like to see CGI is, Ripple has the solution and CGI has the clients. So it's common for these companies to work together and kind of help get other companies in there and kind of utilize their distribution network. So we're just going to control find for Ripple. And now I'm going to start back here, though. So we have CGI as a company of its first in the payments industry, anticipating and proactively driving payments innovation. We have 1973, Swift Network. So they literally designed the Swift Network for international transfers. That's who we are going to replace. Whether it's Ripple, R3, it doesn't matter. We're simply trying to complement it, and it's my bet that XRP will be integrated to some degree. Or if not, then I guess, it'll just kind of be an on-demand liquidity company. Spring and other initiatives will hopefully take over the DeFi market as well. 1984, we can see this group. 1994, we got, OFAC, as Demore already referenced in that previous tweet. 2001, talking about the interfaces for CLS. Please see the videos where I talk about CLS and Finextra. You can just type in Kevin Cage Finextra, Finastra. Right? CGI All Payments, again, the payments hub. Every time I see hub and spoke model types of things, it makes me think of Earthport, for example. Another reason to be bullish. And then right here, 2016, introduce CGI All Payments Ripple Connector. So this has to be so relevant that they decided to put it in the CGI document itself. So I wonder why, guys. Was it just for the messaging, or was it for actual interbank settlement? Just asking, just curious. And then again, right here, 2018, talking about this partnership with the clearinghouse that did implement the RTP platform that we see that all banks are adopting, at least domestically here in the United States. So again, pretty relevant. We can kind of go through here. CGI, read about the company again, one of the largest IT firms and consulting firms in the world, end-to-end services. You get the gist. And keep going here, just talking about the intelligent gateway for Ripple when they integrated it. It's one of the first payment solutions in the industry to integrate Ripple's distributed financial technology and provides a solution-agnostic transformational wrapper around a client's payment processing systems. You can see Ashish Birla, again, this was VP of Product for Ripple, discussing this. Happy that they're actually running a validator themselves. And why would they be running a validator, a node, if they have no intention to utilize the technology for their customers? I rest my case. And I know there's going to be like 10 guys in this video after it gets views, and they're going to say, it didn't mention XRP. You're missing the whole point. They're not going to say that. They do not need retail investors to provide that liquidity per se. They simply want to get everything ready. It's all or nothing. So either the 80-20 rule, or they're simply going for 100% market dominance, and this type of flip a switch scenario does occur where they don't want retail people, everyday people like you and me, even aware of this. They don't want us making money, the minuscule amounts, when they're releasing this capital. So they're not obliged to tell anybody about these updates. There's NDAs. My theory and belief is that the people at top in the world of finance, especially when they release these financial products or crypto index funds in the future, whether it's later in the year or next year, guys, they have no reason to tell us. Even the people that are at the very top of finance, that are industry giants that think they know what's going on, they keep them, one foot in the door. So they understand. Even the top tiered guys that I talk to at various industries say, yeah, we understand that we're using DLT. It's a hot topic, but we don't really know what network we're going to use. Oh, it seems like we have this closed permission ecosystem we're going to use. And then I ask them a few questions and they are at a standstill. They don't understand the interoperability aspect of it. Just please understand, not everything's black and white. All right. All right. Next up, Demore Sahami again. So Temenos, we're going to talk about them. So keep an eye out for this group. Please stick with me here. So Temenos, massive group, again, a software provider, 3,000 plus customers and clients. So again, Ripple teaming up with them to basically distribute to their network as well. So right here, we're on to a real winner. New implementation strategies focus on delivering a fast go-live time to ensure that banks can be up and running with the payment solution as quickly as possible at the flick of a switch. Notice the benefits, just like CGI emphasized, or maybe it was ACI, talking about, getting rid of hardware. It's software rollout. It's a simple update now. All right. So we can kind of go through him here again. We see over 3,000 banks, 100 plus financial technology firms, and then 6,000 plus Temenos skilled partners, consultants, and developers who support and collaborate with the system. We can kind of go through this as well. We are aware of the connections with Blue Zell. We're going to go through it again in this video, and then I'm going to go through some current news today. All right. So as we can see here, just to see some commonalities, we can see single universal solution. All right, all geographies, clearing formats can be configured, integrations, a lot of things, financial messaging processing, so we get it, all right? We can see instant payments, we can see even Swift universal confirmation, All right, with the Swift GPI tracker. Awesome to see that. Liquidity and risk management. A lot of the kind of keywords we're used to seeing. Scalable cloud native. All right, reduced implementation times. No surprise. And then ease of maintenance as well. Software changes, updates, cost and time involved in rolling out changes. Just to, as I've already said. And then STP, guys, that's straight through processing. Everything is becoming highly, highly efficient. All right. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I was already going through that brochure. All right. So let's take a look really quick. So we understand, ISO standards. I don't really care for that. Again, that's a messaging standard that Swift's rolling out. But, all good. Doesn't matter. To me, at least. I know some people say it really matters. But just wanted to show you where I was looking at these screenshots. And now let's talk about this. So Temenos, the T24 core banking solution, integrates Ripple technology. Ripple's always, been an initiative to bridge the gap between blockchain tech and traditional banking. Now that this protocol has been showcased as an integration into T24, the future is looking very bright for Ripple and its partners. Temenos T24 integration is a big milestone for Ripple. And again, we're referring to the company Ripple, okay? And they are one of the biggest holders of XRP. They always say it. They want XRP to go up. They have one of the biggest vested interests ever. Again, they distribute XRP to their customers to utilize. There's locked up in escrow. Some people believe that it's locked up for some really big players. We can continue to speculate on that. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying that it's important that XRP is used. We ramp up the liquidity and volume, and eventually higher payments are able to be sent through. And as this flywheel effect in the ecosystem, making payments cheaper, more efficient, and eventually even more efficient than the current rails of the most liquid G10 currencies like USD, Euro, and the payment corridor. If we can become as liquid as that, it's game over. All right. So there are a lot of people who have never heard of Temenos T24 even before. We can kind of go through this. Now there is a bigger focus on new tech for payment solutions than ever before. The discussion ultimately turned toward blockchain technology. By the look of things, Ripple's version of the blockchain protocol is something the Temenos T24 team is growing fond of. Right? And again, a pioneer project was presented by Deloitte. So these two technologies were combined by fully integrating Ripple's blockchain tech into the T24 stack by using BlueZell, and this says Altitude Gateway, a new standard for bank-to-bank settlements can be created. This is a growing demand, there is a growing demand for faster settlement procedures, preferably in real time, and Ripple Protocols provides financial institutions with tech to realize this potential. And yes, I'm aware that many people have already talked about this BlueZell Gateway. I know Sam I Am, to the Lifeboats on YouTube's gone over this a bunch of times, but I just want to reshare this again for any newcomers, because we're having, hundreds of new people watch videos every single day asking the same questions. All right. There's an enormous potential for banks to leverage these disruptive technologies to make their existing payment processes faster, cheaper, and more secure. Kind of go through this. We understand that distributed ledgers or blockchain. Now, Deloitte is focusing a part of their efforts on merging fintech, again, financial technology firms like Ripple, for example, one of the biggest that at least has one of the biggest vested interests in ensuring that, DLT is adopted massively, and it already is, with core banking systems. All right. Now, of course, it's adopted, but to what degree are we utilizing? And that is where we are at. We're at the tipping point now. All right. Talking about integrating Ripple Protocol to the T24 lets financial institutions send payments in real time without requiring intermediary banking relationships. Now, the issue today, sometimes there's like 8 intermediaries. If you want to send one corridor or kind of a corridor that's not so liquid, it has to go through various corridors just to get there. Different messaging standards, different settlement protocols. It's very, very messy. And the best way to describe it is clunky. It's not only expensive, costly. It takes a lot of time. 6% of the payments are lost altogether. Then when they're lost, it requires human intervention to try to find it, if they can even find it. If they don't find it, it just costs even more time and human capital to look for something that's lost entirely. All right. All right, now right here, we're going to go over this briefly. So Deloitte showcases integration of Ripple technology into Temenos T24. Again, just basically emphasizing what I just said. I just kind of want to show you another source as well, and this is just on Finextra, Ripple Protocol, and the Temenos core banking software. So core banking software with their customers, guys. These are, based off the core ledger. So it's settlement with finality. Enormous potential, again, explained by Patrick Laurent, partner and technology leader at Deloitte themselves. Deloitte heavily integrated. Of course, we've seen various documents with them, even mentioning Ripple as well. Groups like R3, don't be surprised. Fintech disruption, talking about this. Ripple technology is an open source system based on internet protocols permitting domestic, within the country, and international kind of cross-border payments in any combination of currencies to be settled directly between the parties without the need for central clearing houses or correspondent banks. Central clearing, guys, again, clearing is kind of the obligation of who owes who, kind of lining all of that up, and then, send it, the actual settlement is the physical sending of the value. All right, hopefully that rant was bearable. Now we're going to go through the today news. So again, what we want to emphasize, though, as we already have, is ACI Worldwide. They've trialed XRP. They are a RippleNet partner. We've already, seen how much volume they send. We can kind of see the connections there. We've also, no surprise, just showing you all the proof as well. Now we talked about CGI, of course, their RippleNet partner. What was interesting about them was that they specifically shared in that document the whole pathway of actually helping designing SWIFT for, again, interbank or in international transfers. Again, interbank settlements is key. And now actually finding it noteworthy enough to talk about the CGI All Payments Ripple connector. Notice it's called All Payments. And yes, I know that they use that vernacular often, but please just understand what is really going on here. And then talking about the clearinghouse. Yes, I understand that's a domestic use case. I'm not saying that XRP will be involved in any way. Will DLT be involved in any way? Perhaps. But what I'm saying is we get the domestic payment rails fixed, and then we go international and cross-border, and that is kind of all payments. All right. Whether they use XRP or not, the actual messaging and the standards they're using are huge, massively beneficial as a whole. And I believe that cross-border, there's going to be a great chance, and they still need to interoperate, and they're not going to be picking an intra-network coin because it's based off of trust. We already know the scalability reasons, the security reasons, the speed reasons. I go over it in every video. Please do your own research, and you'll kind of come to the same realization, I believe. All right. And then, of course, talking about Temenos, we've already known integrated, backing with Deloitte, T24 stack. And again, this is actually for the core ledger themselves. All right, let's get into the info now. So right here, Matthew, LINY, China looking to digitize global money will likely have to outsource blockchain initiatives if it wants to launch quickly. Now, keep in mind, we see many groups that are competing here. We know that China is rolling out, doing a soft rollout for their currency in the 4 major cities. They're constantly expanding. We understand that the world is going digital. I still think that fiat will be here for some degree, but you better believe that the US, Russia, other massive nations are going to be competing. And we already know that they've said, yes, we've been working on digital currency for decades, and then at least integrating and working with cryptography and even central bank digital currencies since, around the days that Bitcoin was kind of founded. All right. So right here, forecast insights, China blockchain report. Blockchain is not China's future. It is the present. The People's Bank of China is racing to launch a digital token to challenge the US dollar. Already aware of that. Talked about that again. The DCEP, that's the Digital Currency Electronic Payment Protocol. All right, blockchain developers, we can see US is kind of leading that. But again, in terms of regulation, I just think that we're the slowest unless it's kind of all planned and they kind of want to put that idea out there. Who knows? I'm not going to pretend to know. I can speculate, though. We can see the various programming languages. Again, we know Java, Solidity, Python. We can see the number of developers as well. Pretty cool to see. All right. And then here's the actual report. So next, I wanted to share this. So this is Ken Kherson, guys. This was as of, I believe, February 1st, 2018. Now, Ken Kherson, guys, if you don't know, again, right here, May 2018, Ken Kherson was actually under consideration. He's personal friends with President Trump. You can hear it in this other audio file as well if you'd like. He's just kind of addressing that. So again, board member of Ripple. He's been a friend with Donald Trump personally. He did help Trump prepare for a few speeches during the campaign back in the day. Ripple has so many connectors. It's interesting to see what the future holds for them. This is from Stephen the Bold Diep. Now we can see here Ken Kherson, board director at Ripple, personal friends with Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law. Now I know this is kind of stretching, but just wanted to show you the funny kind of coincidences. And eventually you're going to come to realize that there's too many coincidences and that these people are in very high positions. So May 2018 was under consideration to join Trump administration, honorary type position. He withdrew from consideration June 2018 due to too much paperwork, I guess. And he also invested into Ripple, the company, and then purchased a bunch of XRP. And you can see that, per the records, paid mostly half a cent for the ones that he bought. So you tell me that, he has a vested interest or he doesn't want XRP to go up. I don't see the logic where people are trying to spread that fear. All right. And then as we go here, big obsession right now is cryptocurrency in the way that blockchain in particular is going to change everything. I think it's going to come to redefine money and even what being a nation means. All right, on to the next one. Right here, XRP_Crow. This is Status, his website. Highly recommend checking it out. He has some great infographics to learn about Ripple and the XRP ecosystem. We're going to play this clip. It's about 30 seconds. Chris Larson, executive chairman of Ripple, and then one of my favorite guys, Michael Arrington of XRP Capital, or Arrington Capital, I should say. They do have an XRP fund, and he is bullish on the technology, but yes, he hedges with other assets as well. You guys can go, see his portfolio and see what he, holds as well. So right here, just listen up.
Rather than being an internet system. So we need that internet of value to be developed, and that's what we spend our time working on, is a replacement for SWIFT and correspondent banking. How do you get all of the payment providers, all of the wallets onto ILP, and then how do you use XRP as on-demand liquidity so that all of these providers don't have to keep balances all over the world because the process is so inefficient. We think that's the winning kind of killer app. And then I think last group talked about a Cambrian explosion. Yeah. Then you get that Cambrian explosion.
And also what I want to emphasize, so we talk about Interledger Protocol all the time on this channel. We understand it was built in tandem with XRP and the XRP Ledger. And what he's kind of saying is we got to develop that liquidity, get the cross-border issues solved, and then they can kind of go into other avenues of DeFi for these dApps, these DApps, distributed or decentralized applications. And the cool thing is, as we see even on NTT Data's kind of timeline roadmap, we can see that they then decide to attack capital markets in the world of trade finance. And that is kind of where R3 resides. And I believe that initially they've kind of had these multi-step approaches, multi-step approach. I can't even talk. And what I believe now is it's almost seeming to be that it might be an all or nothing, get 100% market share and then flip. Now, if that just seems too conspiratorial, too good to be true, that's fine. We can disagree. We can agree to disagree. Whether you think XRP is going to be at 30 cents or speculative forever, doesn't matter. You know where I stand. You know why I stand. Hopefully you know some of the reason. It's hard to share everything on this channel. But just wanted to emphasize that, guys. The longer we stay low, the more bullish I become. That's just how it works. And if XRP is not for you, you guys, there's plenty of other altcoins and other projects that will do okay, but I just believe long term, nothing will compete with XRP. Even if it, has boring price movement, it's the last mover, it doesn't move as high as the other coins short term speculatively. I think that's kind of all planned, and there's a method to the madness, and it's made all by design. That is just my thought. I have to keep prefacing that because people will, take what I say for fact, and it is not. We'll talk about NFTs in future videos. I'll go over this because this is a pretty big topic. So right here, building on the XRP Ledger and beyond. So we have Finextra and Bitrue, again, the cryptocurrency exchange, burst into DeFi, the world of decentralized finance. So as we can see, April 27th out of Singapore, DeFi platform Finextra and leading financial services platform Bitrue have today announced their intentions to expand services to XRP and on-chain ecosystems through the tokenization of novel real-world assets. It is simply happening slowly but surely. We'll continue to see and kind of keep track of, how well they do with their progress. Next, this is breaking news. A lot of people have shared this already. April 23rd, virtual currency exchange FX Coin, acceptance of opening an account to start Bitcoin transactions next month. And why we care is they plan to test remittance using XRP. So specifically testing now and utilizing remittance. It's just cool to see even these smaller groups doing this. All right. So again, we can see right here, FX Coin senior strategist talked about future plans. Until now, crypto assets have been used mainly for speculative purposes due to the magnitude of price movements. But in order to demonstrate the inherent superiority of crypto assets that enable quick money transfer and settlement at low cost, keep in mind, Bitcoin's not going to solve the payments problem. Whether you're bullish or not, that's awesome. But I'm just saying that XRP will solve the payments problem. Hedging price movements in order to establish the swap market and expand the usage for the purpose of actual demand. In order to do so, we will proceed with the demonstration experiment of domestic remittance and overseas remittance through XRP. And finally, global cash management, corporate finance, and trade. We would like to expand the range of applications to fields such as finance. Love that, right? They've been in business since 2018, so I don't know how big they are per se. I guess I'll have to kind of do some additional research. I'm sure other people have already shared that. So again, guys, we're going to go over NFTs in future video because this one's kind of getting dragged out. I just wanted to show you those connections. So we've gone over ACI Worldwide, CGI, Temenos. We've talked about also, blockchain initiatives in China, the DCEP. Of course, we have a really good video on this as well. A little bit about Kherson, just sharing some, fun facts and connections. And this is just a little bit. Wait until you go down the rabbit hole. You see all of the board of directors of Ripple, people that have left places like BlackRock strategically coming, people that have, wrote an actual, regulatory frameworks. And then when you watch the people that leave a Ripple and see where they go strategically, Kahina Van Dyke, high level players, whether they go to kind of be a management position at a group like Standard Chartered or anything like that. I do believe this is strategically by design. You know where I stand. I'm going to continue to rant and share this information until I see otherwise. As of making this video, XRP is still at 22 cents. It's my belief, provided that, Bitcoin can kind of break through that 8,300, that we go higher. Time will tell. So again, none of this is financial advice. Do not make trades based off of this channel. Please, please, please do your own research and think for yourselves, guys. I just wanted to share my thoughts in a few points why I am personally bullish about, XRP. And what I want to emphasize again, Demore, I'm going to link him in the top of this video description as a thank you. So please follow him. Very bullish gentleman, very smart guy, does great connections. As we can see, he's quite bullish on XRP and the XRP ledger powering, even groups like Hyperledger, Interledger Protocol, etc. Really, really genuine guy. Highly recommend checking his research out. And with that, I will see you in the next video.